Right, good morning. What we're going to look at today is we're going to look at the marketing mix, area 3, which is place. And so we'll go through, have a nosy at the learning objectives. The learning objectives, as it says there, candidates should be aware of the overall channels of distribution available to organisations, reasons for choosing the different channels, the costs and benefits, or the advantages and disadvantages of each channel. And then there's also the secondary part, which is the cost and benefits of using wholesalers, the different types of retailers that exist, and direct sales. We're not actually going to talk about the physical method of distribution, right, which is covered off mainly in National 5, and that is air, road, rail, sea, etc. That's how you actually physically get the product into the hand of the consumer. Okay, what we're looking at now is basically how the route that it takes and the different stages or the different people that are involved in getting the product to the consumer. And the first thing we're going to look at is the channels of distribution. So the channels of distribution are going from the most recent, which is direct, and then you're going to the more traditional model, which is covers off the manufacturer to a wholesaler, wholesaler to a retailer, retailer to the consumer. That's when people used to go to convenience stores and all that all this time, all your greengrocers, etc. Okay, they were all basically, they would go to the wholesaler, and then the wholesaler would receive the goods in from the manufacturer. So what is a distribution channel? It's a chain of businesses or intermediaries, right, through which a good or service passes until it actually reaches the end consumer. Alright, so again it can contain wholesalers, retailers, distributors, can even the internet. The internet is one of the ways, the boom in internet shopping and e-commerce as we classify it as, it has really changed the way that manufacturers can get the goods to ourselves. Okay, so if you think about it, you think of things like Adidas, where you can design your own trainers sitting in your bedroom, right, and that goes straight back to the manufacturer. They do exactly, put your name on them, do whatever on them, and then just post them directly out to you. So that has basically really started to break down the old traditional model as we get more technologically advanced. Channels are broken down into direct and indirect forms. The direct channel allows a consumer to buy straight from the manufacturer, as I said already, and the indirect channel goes through the different intermediaries. So have a look at the graph then, or the graphic. And you look at the top one there. The top one there is basically the most direct, going from the manufacturer to the consumer. No one in the middle, no middlemen as they classify it as. Okay, so you've then got the next one where the manufacturer takes it to the wholesaler, and then with the birth of things like Costco coming in from America and all that sort of stuff, more and more people are going directly. You know, I've got a Costco card, or in Oban we've got a Booker's. You can go up and you buy things in bulk. So you can go up and you can buy like a huge washing powder, or you can buy, 48 toilet rolls and all these sorts of things. So that's something that a lot of people seem to still do, but again, that's just a small proportion of society. The next one down is the more traditional model, where a manufacturer would sell to a wholesaler would start to break, the big packets down. A retailer would go up, drive up in their wee van or do whatever it is, pick up what it is they wanted, right, to put in their shop. And then the consumer enters the shop and buys basically their bits and bobs. Alright, so you think about that, and you think about that is the traditional model when you would go to your greengrocers and you'd pick up a can of Heinz beans that had already been through a manufacturer and a wholesaler. And then again with the birth of the larger retailers, your Tesco's, your Asda's and all these sorts of guys, they deal directly with the manufacturer. They don't have a wholesaler that sits in the middle because they're buying in such huge amounts. They basically take that step away, where the manufacturer will deliver to their own distribution centre, and then it will go from their distribution centre to their retailers. Alright, so there it is. So you see the manufacturer sits down this side, the consumer sits down that side, and what we're looking at is what happens in the middle. So again, a wordy slide. Factors affecting the channels of distribution. So as always, the first thing I always say to you is, what is the main factor for anything in this, in the whole of business management, is do you have the finance? Alright, so a manufacturer may not have the finance to set up e-commerce, anything along those sorts of lines. So they have to deal with the wholesaler, the retailer, and go down that way. So they may not be able to print their catalogues or sell direct. So they go down that more traditional method. Okay, it's becoming less and less prevalent that they won't have a website, but again, that can happen. What's your desired image for the product? So what kind of shops is it going to be in? Alright, where is it going to be? You've got to think about it. The image can basically dictate where you're going to sell. So the example I give there is Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss don't go anywhere, don't sell any other products to any retailers, okay, that they don't have a relationship with for at least 5 years. so they know it's strong, so they know their brand won't be harmed, their brand won't be damaged. The shelf life of the product. Some products need to be shipped quickly, okay, or they'll perish, go out of date. So they may want to go directly to, basically the wholesaler. You've got 2 or 3 days to get them out. So if you pick up, the way I always try and say this is, if you're to pick up something like green beans in Tesco, alright, you'll see they come from Guatemala. I just think of the shelf life of that product. It's got to come, it's got to get into the distribution centre quickly and then out. So you have to have an idea of that. Legal restrictions, prescription drugs, alright? So you've got to make sure that it's going down a prescribed route. There you are. The stage of the product life cycle. If your product's in decline, okay, you're probably likely to find it in a lot of discount stores, as opposed to if you look at, your more exclusive products, they're going to be in your high-end shops. And then what are the technical qualities of the product? We looked at the beginning, the industrial market versus the consumer market. A lot of industrial products will have to be directly sold because they'll involve a lot of expertise. So if Coca-Cola are opening up a new bottling plant, the bottling machinery that they're going to purchase, that will basically be sold direct, be demonstrated. Okay, and that will go, they'll have salesmen will go out for that sort of thing. That's a really high-end purchase. Okay, and that's a lot of capital involved in that. So that's basically what we're saying. The technical qualities of the product are. You're looking across at this, greens and reds. So your greens obviously are your advantages, your reds are your disadvantages of going directly. Alright, so the first thing I was saying to you about Nike ID, Adidas, you can make your product to the specific requirements. Alright, you can sit at home and design your Adidas Superstar trainers or your football boots, you want them pink, green, yellow, whatever. You can do that, put your name on them, do all these sorts of things. That is becoming more and more common. Convenience. You can basically sit in your jams 24/7. Alright, you don't have to leave the house. You can go, basically, you can do that on the internet. QVC, on the telly, you can sit and you can buy stuff as you're sitting there during the day. Or the catalogue. It used to be the next directory, it's kind of died off. And it's been overtaken by the internet. But it used to be a big thing when the next directory arrived and you used to sit and basically flick through it for a day or two. And it was really good because you could order the stuff and then it would arrive 2 or 3 days, especially for ladies who didn't like to go down to shops and try things on. They could order 2 of the same thing, and then what would happen is they could try them on at home, and then they would just be able to send whichever one they didn't want back. A big cost saving for direct is you don't have to set up retail sites. That's where a lot of money goes. Okay, is on the square footage within premium retail sites, so like within Silverburn, or if you look at Buchanan Street in Glasgow, it's called the Golden Mile. And that is all about, that costs thousands upon thousands per square foot, to have your shop there because of the amount of people who pass by. The product can be demonstrated through direct selling. Something that's quite a new concept over the last couple of years is you can watch things on if you shop on ASOS, you can see somebody walking up and down a catwalk. You can also look and start looking at reviews. I mean, I know I certainly do if I'm looking to buy a product on something like Argos or Amazon. I look and read to see the 4 stars, the 5 stars, what's got, if somebody's written something nasty about it, it maybe make me think twice about it. So you can demonstrate the product, you can see it, and then you can hear opinions about it. So that's a good thing. And then the consumer controls the marketing associated with the product. So it's all about the consumer. They don't have to go into that retail space to be sold at, to have somebody jump on them to basically tell them, do you want to buy this? That was always one of my big hates when I was younger, was basically walking into a shop and somebody would be right on you, what you want, and the first thing you'd have to say is, I'm just in for a look. You don't have that sort of idea. You just can do it at your own time, you can look at what you want to look at, and that's you. You can be quite happy. And the bad things about it are for the manufacturers an increased cost of stock holding. Alright, nobody in the middle there, no intermediaries are going to hold the stock for you. So if your stock is basically, it's going to be sitting and there's costs associated with looking after stock, such as warehousing costs, security costs, lighting costs, if it's cold refrigeration costs. So you have to bear all those costs. You've also got to bear the cost of what happens if it starts to, go out of date. It becomes unfashionable and you're left with this huge stockpile of stuff. And you'll see that on these big sites like Adidas and Nike and all these sorts of guys, you'll see they have sales quite often. And that's when they're changing from what could be the spring-summer collection to the autumn-winter collection. So they don't want to be left holding all these sorts of things. Okay, the second that the manufacturer puts it out the door to a wholesaler, they don't have to worry about that stock anymore. It becomes the responsibility of the next person, the wholesaler, the next person in the line. There's increased admin costs because you have to get the stuff posted, you have to organise delivery, you have to organise invoicing people. Okay, invoicing again, just make sure you've got the term correct as when you send out bills, etc. Okay, and then high advertising costs following the manufacturer. So nobody else is helping them out here. They're doing it directly to the consumer, so they're going to bear the costs of that. Right? But what they have to do is weigh it up against, is it as bad as paying a commission or paying a certain percentage of profit to a wholesaler or retailer who sits in the middle, who will bear some of these costs on your behalf. So there's methods of direct selling, and I just wanted to say it's not just the internet. Now the internet's a huge part of it now, but you can still get all these things. You look up the back of magazines, you'll see mail order. So you can mail order things. Right? So the best things about these are the convenience. So on the internet now, it's a global market. You can buy stuff off Alibaba from China. You've got 24/7. You've got credit card security. You can use PayPal. People are more confident now about shopping on eBay, etc., or on Amazon because they can use these things. If you look at mail order, they might give you some credit facilities. Right? They might say you can pay up over a year. It's exclusive. There's an exclusivity. You know, like Woolovers, I think, are one of these guys that send you a catalogue, or Brook Tavern, or they're both, you know, for guys. And I'm sure there's many for women as well. There's no cost of stores. There's cost of stores is taken away. High advertising costs, right? There's a lack of personal service. All you're doing is looking at a catalogue, right? Thinking, oh, I like that. Send it off in the post, and they post it back to you. Direct mailing or junk mailing. Alright, it happens. We all have it, we all see it, we all hate it, but it must still work. The companies would stop doing it if it didn't work. So people are picking up these things and buying stuff, you know, that's been left down on, you know, on your doormat when you get home. So you can look at specific groups can be targeted with direct mailings. You know, you've looked at market segmentation before. You can segment your market and send out to a particular group of people, whether they be, and it's probably looking at lower net worth individuals, right? They're going to respond to direct mailing. Specialist magazines, there's basically things like the bodybuilding thing, the health thing, right? So specific groups targeted, and then it avoids disturbing people at home. The stuff is in the magazine. Engineers Weekly, right? Send out woodworkers tools, all these sorts of things. Personal selling, that's what I used to do. Hey, I used to do it for the Royal Bank of Scotland. It's where you go around and you basically demonstrate things and you show them and you take the customer through the buying process. It's really good. But again, it's kind of dying off. You don't like the people coming into your house anymore. It's all associated with, you know, the double glazing salesman in the 1980s, you know, who'd put his foot in the door, and then basically you would feel pressured into buying things. And then TV selling, QVC, right? You've got the whole thing, wide reach, targeted audience. There's things that are on during the night, right? Where you can buy all these ab trimmers and ab trainers and all these wonder products, etc. Right? Again, it's a targeted audience, a wide reach, right? 24/7, you can have it on. Some people do, I don't know why, but some people do watch it 24/7. Okay, but it's a high cost associated with that. You have to pay, QVC have to pay loads of money to Sky, for instance, to be on their platform. Using a wholesaler, this is something you have to know, really specifically comes up in the exam. Right, so wholesalers buy in bulk, so they reduce transport costs, admin costs and sales staff for the manufacturer. So that's a really good thing, because what they're doing is, the second they buy in bulk, they take a large order and they'll take it out, and you don't have to worry about, the manufacturer then no longer has to worry about anything along those sorts of lines. They also take the risk with that stock. The whole thing about if it runs at the end of its product life cycle, if it becomes untrendy, if something happens to it, right, if it spoils. So they don't have to worry about the costs that are associated with stock holding. The wholesaler's going to break down the bulk orders, and what they're going to do is, they're going to make it into small orders for retailers. So they are going to, if you've ever been, it's just a big warehouse, and what they'll do is, you'll see the big pallets come in and people put them on the shelves, and then you'll go in as a retailer and buy things like, you know, a box of crisps or 2 boxes of crisps. The wholesaler may package the product, they may help you with the packaging. which would again saves time and money. So they may ensure the fact they may run their own promotions. Okay, there's the other good thing is they will give feedback, market research on what's selling well and what's selling poorly. Okay, so you've got to have an idea of that. The bad things are you're losing control over the marketing and selling the product. Once you've sold it to that wholesaler, they can then decide how they want to market it and they want how they're going to sell it. The wholesaler takes a portion of the costs, or the profits even. Okay, so they become that middleman. So they maybe want 10%, 20%. There's costs involved with producing point of sale stuff, so you might have to put posters, give them key rings, do something along those sorts of lines to incentivise people to buy. And then there's the danger that the actions of a wholesaler may tarnish your reputation. So if they do something poorly, they don't store something in a particularly good way, right, and you as a retailer or you as a consumer go to there and think, oh, I don't really like that, right, that's pretty poor. Okay, it doesn't work very well. The old traditional method, right, using a retailer, manufacturer to wholesaler, to the retailer, to the consumer. So the retailer breaks down bulk orders and offers them to the public, so you're that one step further. So it's gone from basically the manufacturer selling a whole case or a whole pallet of baked beans to the wholesaler. Right? The wholesaler then breaks them down into cases of 24. Right? The retailer will then put them on the shelf where you can buy just one can of beans. So, and then the consumer goes in when they're fancying something, beans on toast, they just pick up one can and that's them away. So that makes it so much easier. The retailers store the goods. They think about the storerooms. You see the Tesco lorries arriving up into Oban on a regular ongoing basis. They basically display them and then they decide on the prices. So you've got to have an idea. That's what the retailer is going to do. They may offer credit facilities, guarantees, delivery, after sales service. Really important points here, especially if you're going for something, that's a kind of higher end product. Like electrical goods, for instance, may be a really good idea to offer credit facilities, because you can't basically buy a telly straight off for 600 quid. Nobody, or not nobody, but not many people, have that disposable income where they can just shell out in one go. And we don't live in a society anymore that saves up for something. That was my dad's generation. We now buy it and buy it in credit because we want it now. Alright? Retailers can provide demonstrations and information on products. If you go to Curry's PC World and you go on talking about tellies, you'll see this wide array of tellies, you'll see this wide array of things. Right? That's something that you have to look at as well, because the wee guy comes up and tells you all about it. Retailers are more accessible, so you've got corner shops, convenience stores, the whole shebang. Retailers can trial smaller orders of newer products and not be left with large amounts of stock. So that's especially good for new, for new manufacturers, for bringing a new product to market. That's test marketing, really. Right? They maybe put it in 15 stores rather than rolling it out to every single store to tell you how it did in those stores. The bad things are the product may be displayed alongside competition. Think about supermarket shelves. You see all the different types of juice. It's not just your juice or your cereal or your bread. Okay, there's more stages in the distribution channel. Obviously, the more money you have to pay out to the middlemen. So the product increases in price, or you start to lose your profit margin. And then the retailer might lose out on exclusivity deals, right, by not going straight to the manufacturer. So like Tesco can go to Coke and say, right, we want to have exclusive rights to sell this new Coke Zero Vanilla, or for Christmas coming, put a Christmas flavour together, and we want exclusivity on that. So that can happen as well. Cutting out the wholesaler, the larger, as does Tesco, become more common as the retailers get bigger and bigger and bigger. Right? Tesco wouldn't use a wholesaler, they would go straight to Coke. So they order in bulk, thus taking advantage of economies of scale. They can do exclusivity deals. And the bad thing is it's often argued that large retailers have too much power, right, and exploiting the smaller manufacturers. So it's been a big argument in farming, where they're putting down the price of milk and all that sort of stuff. So you've got to basically make sure there's a balance struck. There's different types of retailers, okay, so you've got independent stores, you've got your small businesses, Hannah's Newsagents, the Birchwood Garage, anything along those sorts of lines. You've got your supermarkets, and then to be classified as a supermarket, you've got to have over 2,000 square feet. So you've got self-service, now all the self-service tills, a range of products, including clothes. They'll sell their branded and basically their own label products. Hypermarkets, big huge ones. Asda is the one, that's just a huge store. And they've not gone into that market, the same as Tesco and all that, with the smaller convenience stores. They're owned by Walmart, who are the largest retailer in the US. You've got chain stores like Boots, where they sell, they've got particular products. So Boots being health and beauty and pharmaceuticals and all that sort of stuff. We've got department stores like John Lewis, Debenhams. They're going through a bad time just now, been affected by the internet. So you've got to have an idea of that. They've got prime city centre locations, lovely big buildings. It's more of an experience shop rather than, you know, you'll go there for the experience. You've got specialist stores like B&Q, which is DIY. You've got IKEA, which is just furniture, well, furniture and household goods. Discount stores, B&M Bargains, the Cathedral of Crap, or the Temple of Tat, as I like to call it. So you can see that they are selling large proportions of a limited range of products. And that's mainly products towards the cheaper end of the scale. And you've got franchises. So you've got McDonald's, people like Benetton, Body Shop, right, where they are working. That is the model they're using as a franchising model. Retail and trends at the very end. Online retailers, e-commerce sites becoming more and more apparent. Out-of-town shopping centres like Glasgow Fort, Silverburn, Braehead, with cars, people are moving out of the town centres. A lot of town centres now are diminished. Or if they're trying to rebuild them, what they're doing is they're putting more specialist shops in there. Hypermarkets and superstores, again, that was a big thing in the 90s, you know, in the early noughties. They're becoming less popular now, you know, because people are choosing to shop in different places. You're not just going to the one place for your shop. So they, again, you could say, are becoming less prevalent because they've been overtaken by the convenience stores, right, which are owned by the supermarkets. So on the street corners in Edinburgh and all these sorts of things, you'll see a Tesco Metro where there used to be an independent greengrocer. So they can do all these sorts of things. The discount stores, in response to the financial crash years ago, what happened is we started to become more savvy in how we shopped. So Poundland, you know, that exploded onto the scene. B&M Bargains, B&M Home Bargains become more popular in the UK. Folk like to think they're getting a bargain. Okay, so they go in there and they're basically like, yes, fill up your trolley, get as much as you can for a tenner. And then extended opening hours. This is another trend, 24/7. The big Asda's now are 24/7, so they're actually, I've been in at night, and what they're doing is they're restocking the shelves as people are walking about in their nighties and their, all that sort of thing, their pyjamas. So it's quite a strange concept, people going for their shopping in the middle of the night, because it's convenient, you know, for them to do it. They may be working different shifts, etc. So that basically is a place, and that should cover off. The next video we'll be doing will be on promotion, and I'll pop that up in a day or two.